Who am I to judge? We face a lot of judgmental thoughts day in and day out, despite who you are, mature, immature, and it's something you think about all the time, subconsciously, and obviously consciously too. But you have to consider that it is part of the human train of thought. It's normal. But it's also controllable. And I suffer from it because I'm not a very positive person. So a lot of my life has judgment in it. And it definitely shows my character. But self-awareness helps with that improvement over time, and that judgment can be used in good ways, and it can be improved in the bad. But oftentimes, judgment is a reflection more about you than it is them. When we judge others, we often project our own fears, insecurities, and unresolved wounds onto them. Carl Huang called this a shadow, parts of ourselves we disown and then see in others. Now, I use ChatGPT for all of this. I have no original thoughts in my head. But I'm not very quick to think, so that's why I use ChatGPT. But I do reside with all this because my projection onto other people, I see it as lighthearted and not very serious. But I know that train of thought is putting me towards a negative personality and a negative direction in my life. Judgment is kind of just a shortcut to understanding. The mind craves certainty and efficiency. Judging someone quickly saves mental energy, but it blocks a deeper understanding. Wisdom requires us to slow down, ask questions, and resist assumptions. Sorry that I'm reading off of a script today. This is something I'm struggling with, is keeping my train of thought. I fried my brain so much on my phone because it is my only friend that even right now I can't even form words. My train of thought is very small. My memory is very short term. But I did type some of these and I looked up some of them. So judgment is a barrier to compassion. You cannot truly love someone and judge them at the same time. Judgment separates, compassion connects. When you replace judgment with curiosity, the world becomes softer and more humane. When you see someone act stupid, trip over their laces, skip a step, or maybe not think before they bite and accidentally bite their finger, something stupid, something that's just basic that you should just know. Your first thought is obviously to think it's funny, but then you might have quick judgment, be like, wow, what you did was stupid. That person cut me off. What you did was stupid. But the judgment is there. And in your head, you're like, you could do better. Why didn't you do better? I mean, that's like a deeper understanding. Maybe it's just like more like you're mad at them. But that comes from a deeper self-understanding where you're like, I'm mad and I have to project it on someone else, and I'm mad that you did something dumb. But if you were in their position, you were in their shoes, you'd be like, oh, I went to change lanes and I looked too fast. And when I looked fast, I moved over and didn't realize someone was there. Then you'd want someone to feel compassion for you. So compassion is where the love comes from. So deep understanding will kind of sounds dumb because I'm making everything really deep, and it's never that deep. But it helps to understand that compassion will help you go a lot further than judgment. And there's no reason for you to judge. There's no benefit. You can make judgment and preferably keep it to yourself and then move forward with your life to kind of create a next step for yourself. Like, oh, I don't like how that person's acting. I'm just not going to hang around them. Not, hey, I don't like how this person is acting. I'm going to hit them up and tell them they're stupid. Because that's just not wise. There's no benefit served to them or you. And the harshest judgments are often turned inward. People who are highly critical of others are often deeply self-critical. If you struggle to forgive others, it's worth asking, have I forgiven myself? And that also sounds very spiritual. And it sounds like a person that's smoking dope. That's how my dad would say it. Smoking dope. But if you can't forgive yourself, then you can't see the reason why you should forgive someone else for something stupid like walking in front of you on the sidewalk, cut in front of you in line. Oftentimes people's intentions aren't malicious, and they just do without thinking, and they think about themselves. And that's kind of what this podcast is about. It's thinking about yourself. It's like, you're here for you. Do what you will and let other people adapt to you instead of you adapting to other people. So the compassion needs to be there. You need to be able to understand that, oh, maybe they just walked in front of me. Oh, yes, and now I'm next in line. It's going to be an extra couple minutes, but how's that really going to change my day? The next one is kind of boring. Everyone is fighting a battle you can't see. That's true. I mean, I fight battles that people don't see all the time that don't need to be said. And I can say that for literally anyone. I can go up to them and ask them, is there something that you don't talk about that you think about all the time? And even if there isn't something huge and jarring, they might have something that, oh, maybe I have an insecurity about my eyebrows. Or maybe my dad said something to me years and years ago, or my friend and I haven't talked in a while, and it's really hit me deep. I'm wondering what happened. It was years ago. Stuff like that. Like, everyone has something that they're thinking about to an extent. Fear is disguised as moral superiority. Is still fear. Let me say that again because my enunciation is bad. Fear disguised as moral superiority is still fear. Your judgment is technically correct, but can still be spiritually wrong. You might be right about someone's behavior, but if that rightness leads to arrogance or cruelty, it loses its moral weight. Truth without humility becomes a weapon. Damn, that was Chat GPT cooking on that one. Yeah, it really does. It really becomes a weapon, because then it becomes, whether it's how can I use this against this person, or it's how can I judge this person in my head to think that they're lower than me. And I'm a victim of this. I am that guy. I think about it all the time. Why aren't they doing better than me? Why is that person making worse decisions? Why are they making certain decisions that are, I don't know. It just, you think that you come first, but I'm just gonna end the judgment part with this. Religious or not, you're not the last to judge. You're never going to be the final judgment, because you are not who decides what is to judge. And this brings me into a little bit of a deeper convo that I had a few podcasts ago. I can't remember what episode. It was resentment. And why I would resent someone or resent a feeling. Gotta look at my notes. Resentment is like a prison you lock from the inside. Resentment feels like justice. But it's actually self-punishment. The other person may not even know or care that you're hurting. Meanwhile, your energy, joy, and peace are quietly drained. There's a quote from Buddha. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Just think about it. You're mad at someone. Like, this is something I say to people all the time. Like, what if you were mad at me and we had this whole argument in your head and I just didn't know? Like, you hated me for some reason because of something I said. Something you heard me say. But you never said it to me. You never told me how you felt. What if I didn't know? Then it's going to eat you up inside. And then I won't have any problems, because that has a problem with you. And that's oftentimes why I don't entertain just issues with people, because even if it's correct, even if they say something right about me, like something I said that was kind of bad or whatever, that's an argument for me. That's an issue with myself. If you feel the need to bring it up to me and put me in a negative light, that is an issue you need to take on with yourself, because that is not my problem. If you have an issue with me because of that, that's not my problem. That is your problem. I don't resent you for that. That is a problem you need to fix on your own. And I can't help you. I can't be the guy that fixes all your problems. As much as I like to be. Resentment comes from unprocessed pain. We resent because something in us is wounded and never healed. It's a scar that still itches. Resentment grows where boundaries were never planted. Often we resent others not just for what they did, but for what we allowed, tolerated, and failed to speak up about. Learning to set healthy boundaries is one of the best antidotes to chronic resentment. Your resentment has something to teach you. Instead of judging yourself for feeling resentful, ask, what truth does it feel to reveal? What values were violated? What inner voice did I ignore? Resentment can be a messenger. Don't kill it, but don't let it take over the house. There's quite a few more, but I'm just gonna kind of skip most of them because I want to start talking about other stuff. But you can ask yourself questions like, what boundaries were crossed? What did I need that I didn't get? What emotion am I avoiding? Is it grief? Is it helplessness? Is it betrayal? Because you can't fix resentment, and you can't become less resentful overnight. But every time you choose reflection over reaction, compassion over blame, you loosen resentment's grip a little more. So when you resent someone for their actions that they did in the past, and you feel the need to project onto them, or, like I said, never tell them. Like, if I have a resentment towards someone that I love, and I never tell them, and I hold on to it in my heart, that is me drinking the poison and expecting them to die. I want them to fix themselves because I had an issue with them. But if I don't bring that to light, then they'll never know. all that being said, this is just my way of practicing my popcorn reading. I'm very illiterate and I don't enunciate very well, and I've been trying to work on that for years now, and this is like a really big step. You can tell that I kind of skipped over some text and messed up my words a few times, and I forgot a lot of my script. But this is just me. This is me practicing, so I appreciate you guys sitting and listening. Fun fact. There's a story that just kind of blew my mind this week. Fisker Karma went bankrupt twice. You know that? Fisker Karma, they're a EV brand. Sorry to trail off really quick. They're an EV brand that made an electric car way back in like early 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s. They went bankrupt in 2011, I think 2011, 2014. Don't quote me because I don't actually know. And then they came back in like 2023, 2020. I don't remember, with what do they call it? It had some crazy name. I don't think I wrote it down. Anyways, they went bankrupt again. So all these people that had this $80,000 car were like sitting in the dark, like, I can't update it now. I can't charge it. This car is like literally a paperweight, an $80,000 paperweight. So some dude, I was watching some dude, he bought one for $10K. You know, they were $80K originally, and it had 300 miles on it, and he bought it for $10K. And he drove it 7,000 miles, and he said he's still going strong, but he had to drive 700 miles to like download some sketchy update from some dude that had a computer, I think, that had the update on it, which was so crazy to me. Anyways, I want to respond to Ben from the last podcast because I posted it, and I posted my last podcast. I only had like 29 views. I didn't really like. It's definitely on the lower end of views for one of my videos, and it really stood out to me because this dude had never seen any of my stuff before, and he just laid out a paragraph, and it meant a lot to me because I sat there and I read it a few times, and it's crazy that someone else could be so kind-hearted, and I just don't, about someone they don't know, and some random kid that, I don't know, I just don't feel like I have, I'm invalidating myself right now. I don't feel like I have that much purpose behind me, so seeing someone validate that much, thank you so much, Ben. I'm assuming his name is Ben, his username is John Doe, but he says, from one Ben to another, stay strong. We all have these thoughts about our insecurities with ourselves, which may be hard to believe after hours of doom scrolling. I've been there, done that, but that does not discredit the way you feel. He just kind of went on about talking about his past and how he felt. He went through marriage. He lost some weight. He says, I have yet to watch all your videos, so I'm unsure of how much of your personal life you share, but from what I did watch with some guests, you seem happier, more confident around others, and not the kind of confidence that makes you a joy to be around, not the bro science, knuckle dragging troglodyte giving life advice to people before you even have lived your life yet type of confidence. When you have that kind of charisma and charm, people look past the service level and want to see more of you. And he said a bunch of other stuff too. He said, thank you for the video, Ben. I'll be sure to come back every time you upload. I just need some backlogging first. And damn. I mean, I'm obviously trying to be better for every video, but like, it truly blows my mind that someone would go out of their way to sit and watch a YouTuber with 57 subscribers now and 29 average views. I have no organization skills to my videos. I have no exact genre for every video. It's just kind of whatever's on the top of my head, and that was my goal, was just to be someone that you could listen to and talk to. But if you want some reference of what I want to end up like, there's a podcast called The Company Lot. My favorite comedian, he's a little inappropriate sometimes, but he kind of spurts off, and he's very charismatic. His voice is soothing, and it's so nice to just listen to and not think. And I can just randomly like pitch in while I'm doing something. and laugh and keep working, or I can have my headphones in and just kind of sit and relax and listen to him. And I hope that someone has that same exact feeling about me someday, because there's no difference between that guy and me other than age. He's like 10 years older than me, but he is super funny, and I feel like he probably feels that about himself. He's kind of verbalized it, but he doesn't say it that much. But he verbalized it a few times in a couple of his comedy shows. But if you've listened this far, thank you. Thank you so much, Ben. I do appreciate all the comments. I actually do look through the comments. I refresh my YouTube page a bunch. Thanks for watching, Grandma. And yeah, I hope this is not on the living room TV, Dad. I know it's probably gonna be, but let me end with one quote. And it's not a quote. This one's for you, Caden. It is a Bible verse. Who am I to judge another when I myself walk as an imperfect man? Thank you.